Powell remembers, Mr. Gordy and I both said you don't have to do any of the things that I suggest to you. None of them. You do have a choice. It's just that you can't stay here. You can act a ninja if you want to, but not at Motown. You can go over there to the Joe's Crab Shack. But you can't be here at the Motown and act a ninja. Oh, my life, my life, be waiting for you. Look, how you do. Well, hello there, love bugs. Hello there, Bellas. If you have not already done so, please remember to like, share, subscribe, and tip your favorite narrator via Cash App at $NAROB on YouTube. And if you are not already a part of this book club, please hit the Patreon link below and or the join button here on the YouTube. And for a small monthly fee of $5, you babies, yes you, can be privy to all the shenanigans before the YouTube gets it, if the YouTube gets it. Now, y'all, this is our last week of the Marvelettes. Remember, every Saturday we upload a chapter or so of the book Bling. That's the Erica Kennedy book that exposes the industry. Now, I can't tell you what time it'll be uploaded. I just know that when I wake up, feed the dogs, talk to my sister, get settled in, and eat a little something, I read and then I upload. Okay, so if you all haven't checked out the Bling playlist yet, why don't y'all go on over there and do it? It's a pretty cool book. It's fictional based on fact. We be over there trying to figure out which character is who. Okay, now, like I said, this is the final week of the Marvelettes by Mark, what is his name? Taylor. Originally from Chicago, Powell was involved in the fine arts from the time she was 14 years old. She took a course in cosmetology under the direction of Madam Walker and studied drama for 8 years with aspirations of becoming an actress. Powell visited Detroit for a weekend and was drawn to the city that she saw as something of a slumbering giant. She stayed at the Gotham Hotel near Orchestra Hall and secured a position as a manicurist, having joined a business and social club and becoming its entertainment director and negotiator. Powell quickly gained a reputation for her class, style, and refinement. She then launched the Maxine Powell Finishing and Modeling School and became a fixture in Detroit's Black community. Each year, she had a production show that drew anywhere from 1,000 to 1,200 people. She first met the Gordys in the mid-1950s when she hired the family print shop, run by Esther Gordy Edwards and Fuller Gordy, to prepare a unique program for one of her fashion and talent shows. The Gordy Printing Company had a reputation for doing the best work in Detroit. Esther Edwards got involved in organizing the event and got her husband, George, named Master of Ceremonies. When George Edwards ran for the legislature, Powell supplied office space in a ballroom she owned. I had the Maxine Powell Finishing and Modeling School. Mrs. Gordy saw what I was doing. She took my finishing course, and Esther took it, and Lucy, and then Gwen, the youngest daughter of the Gordy family, became my motto and made the back page of the Detroit Free Press. The Free Press at that time, the back page was a very prestigious space. The African Americans weren't in the Free Press in the 50s unless they committed a crime or did something that was negative. Now, I can see how every beautiful black young woman would aspire to be a part of that. You know, like how I aspired to be a jet beauty. When I tell you my bucket list is something to behold, baby, that jet beauty is one of them. And I know you're like, Nay, how you going to be a jet beauty when there ain't even a jet magazine no more? I think it is. I think it's just on the internet. I think that would be a disaster if something like Jet was just thrown away or discarded. I know that Mother Hunchy used to be a good 75 pages. Now it's like probably 7. I don't know. Even if I don't do a Jet Beauty centerfold, I would like to take those pictures in my old age, because I told you I got a bucket list, bitch, and I ain't playing with it. Getting to Maxine Powell. If there are finishing schools or charm schools in your area that you know of, could you please put it down below? Because I believe part of the reason why we do not have, or our young people do not have, integrity and pride the way they used to, is because resources like finishing schools and charm schools are only offered to those that can afford to pay for those particular schools. Because I'm trying to tell you, it's a girl that I work with. Baby, I thought I was old bougie stuck up hoe when I ain't being a ratchet bitch. I mean, she's amazing. She is definitely an amazing person. And I mean, she is all of it. Like, it's strange to me how she could be so finished and polished and say ratchet things, but still not come off ratchet. She's amazing. Shout out to you. Despite a limited market in Detroit for African American models, Powell was able to find jobs for her students. Meanwhile, Gordy had Motown up and running. As Powell became friends with Gordy, she would often attend local engagements by Motown artists and critique their performances. In 1964, when the expense of operating her ballroom and modeling school was getting out of hand, Powell closed up shop and joined Motown full-time. The artist development classes were received with varying levels of enthusiasm. However, attendance was mandatory. Whenever the artists weren't performing, they were taken into Motown studios and taught lessons in self-image, stage presentation, and how to eliminate whatever unsophisticated or unacceptable quirks there were to be worked out. Powell remembers, Mr. Gordy and I both said you don't have to do any of the things that I suggest to you. None of them. You do have a choice. It's just that you can't stay here. You can act a ninja if you want to, but not at Motown. You can go over there to the Joe's Crab Shack, but you can't be here at the Motown and act a ninja. First, you have to learn to be who you are and to be great within yourself, so that when you go on stage, all you're doing is being natural. Mrs. Powell remembers the Marvelettes were youngsters, and they were good singers, and they were anxious to learn. I never had a problem with any of them. We worked with the body language, and we worked with word power. It was a pleasure to work with them. For the Marvelettes, the artist development classes were something of a case too little too late. With their greatest run of hits coming in Motown's formative years, they often either headlined the early Motown review tours or at least, the very least, had a longer set than most of their contemporaries. As a result, whatever proper stage techniques or etiquette that was missing in their live act often receive the greatest notoriety. This is still something of a sore spot for the Marvelettes, who feel that perhaps Motown was a bit too insensitive in their public criticism of the group. More than any other major artist at Motown, the Marvelettes were victims of timing. When the Marvelettes were about to hit a mini slump in 1963, there were several pivotal events that year that shook the civil rights movement. The freedom cause dramatized in the streets of Birmingham, Alabama in April and May. The assassination of Medgar Evers in the early morning hours of June 12th. The March on Washington on August 28th. And the bombing of Birmingham's 16th Street Church on September 15th that killed 4 little girls. These occurrences brought national media exposure, heightened awareness about racial injustice in America, and culminated in President Lyndon Johnson signing into law the Civil Rights Act of 1964 on July 2nd, 1964, which banned all forms of racial discrimination in public places. The national mandate for public integration increased the need for positive images of Black Americans, which Motown's performers provided. Motown's most immediate beneficiary of the strides made in the civil rights movement were the Supremes. Shortly after the Civil Rights Act was passed, the Supremes had the #1 record in the country with Where Did Our Love Go? Before the year was out, they would top the charts for 4 weeks with Baby Love. 3 days after the Supremes released their follow-up, Come See About Me, they performed it along with their first 2 #1 hits at the taping of the TAMI show, a rock and roll extravaganza that also starred the Rolling Stones, James Brown, the Beach Boys, and others. On December 1964, Come See About Me sat atop the charts for a week, then dipped to #3 for 3 weeks while the Beatles' I Feel Fine topped the charts. Come See About Me then returned to #1 for an additional week. During its interim at #2, the Supremes made their first appearance on the Ed Sullivan Show. How many Black acts relied on Ed Sullivan to allow them on their show to gain momentum. And we know that Ed Sullivan was very supportive of the Supremes. So much so that when Diane left, the girls, I forget which one took over. I forget the name of the lady that took over, but it was Mary, Cynthia, and the other lady, and they did the Up the Ladder Through the Roof song. They were able to come on the show and gain some momentum for that song and that album. Yet before advances were made in the civil rights movement, none of the Black girl groups of the early 1960s appeared on his show, no matter how many hits they had. In time, Motown would incorporate an appearance on the Ed Sullivan Show as a final phase of its production line. The company would schedule subsequent appearances by the Supremes and the Motown artists like The Temptations, The Four Tops, Martha and the Vandellas, and The Miracles to coincide with the debut of a new song. Towards the end of 1964, when the Supremes were making television breakthroughs for Motown, the Marvelettes had recently entered the charts with Too Many Fish in the Sea. Though music historians have cited this tune as one of Motown's most superior and best remembered, it only got as high as number 25 on the pop charts. Not enough of a crossover powerhouse to command an appearance on the Ed Sullivan Show. Victims of timing. Around this time, other avenues did open up for popular black artists. The most notable being Shindig, a primetime rock and roll show that featured live performances, not lip synced to records. Hey, is that a jab at the Soul Train? Pause. One of you all came down in the comments and was like, Nay, are there any books about Soul Train? Y'all, you know what? I want to know. It's no books out there about Soul Train. You Soul Train, beep, peepers, you. I need y'all to write a book. One of y'all need to write a book. And listen, one of the girls, one of my favorites, she was like, well, I wasn't eating fried chicken with the rest of them. That's all I can say. Bitch, what the hell you mean by that? Now, you know my Judy is Mickey Howard. By the way, I'm going to see her Wednesday at the Wind Down Wednesday in East Point, y'all. I gotta give me a beach chair, but I ain't going to be long because I can't do that hot weather. Okay, but I'm going to ask her, what was Soul Train really like? Because nobody really spills any tea about the Soul Train. I mean, like, it's something, y'all. Something. Y'all got to give me something. You Soul Train dancers, y'all. Was y'all hunching each other? Was it a lot of gays hunching each other? Did Don Cornelius have his favorites? Was the stars coming on there specifically looking at certain women in the crowd going, yes, you, yes, you? We know that's true because Smokey Robinson had picked some 17-year-old girl off of the Soul Train and fell in love with her. Okay? But I need some tea. And I need one of you disgruntled bitches to come out of the woodwork and tell us what was going on. During this period, the show debuted on September 16th, 1964, and lasted until January 8th, 1966. During this period, virtually all of Motown's top acts were basking in the glow of hit records that reached white audiences. Thus, several of the roster's artists appeared on Shindig. The Marvelettes released Don't Mess with Bill 5 weeks before Shindig went off the air.